Hi, every wise reader. Welcome to the next video from Read Wiser, a YouTube channel dedicated to helping you improve yourself through books. Today, we're diving into Harper Lee's timeless classic, To Kill a Mockingbird. Have you ever felt judged based on rumors or assumptions before anyone really knew you? Or witnessed injustice and felt powerless? Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird plunges us into the heart of such questions, exploring the complexities of human nature through the eyes of a child in the American South. Set against a backdrop of deep-seated prejudice, this novel challenges us to look beyond surface appearances and confront uncomfortable truths about society and ourselves. It's a story that argues for the vital importance of empathy, moral courage, and understanding, especially when facing overwhelming societal pressure. Let's explore how this powerful narrative unfolds. Our journey begins in the fictional town of Maycomb, Alabama, during the Great Depression. It's a tired old town, slow-moving and bound by tradition, but simmering with unspoken tensions and rigid social divisions. We see this world through the innocent yet observant eyes of Jean-Louise Finch, known affectionately as Scout. She lives with her older brother Jem and their widowed father, Atticus Finch, a respected lawyer known for his quiet integrity. Their lives are enriched, and sometimes complicated, by their black housekeeper Calpurnia and their imaginative summer friend Dill. Early on, two key elements shape their childhood: the mysterious, unseen neighbor Boo Radley, a figure of local legend and fear, and the stark social hierarchy that Scout encounters jarringly on her first day of school. But the relative innocence of their childhood is soon overshadowed when Atticus takes on a case that will shake Maycomb to its core, defending Tom Robinson, a black man falsely accused of raping a white woman. This decision thrusts the Finch family into the center of the town's ugliest prejudices, forcing Scout and Jem to confront the harsh realities of injustice and hatred. Now, let's look closer at how Maycomb and the Finches are established. The opening chapters firmly plant us in Maycomb's soil, establishing the town's history, social structure, and sleepy atmosphere through Scout's youthful perspective. We meet the Finch family, learn about their lineage, and understand Atticus's role as a principled figure in the community. Maycomb itself is characterized as suffering from the Depression, a place where there was nowhere to go, nothing to buy, and no money to buy it with. This economic hardship exacerbates the already rigid social hierarchy. Scout's disastrous first experiences at school serve as a microcosm of Maycomb's social divisions. Her teacher, Miss Caroline, misunderstands the town's ways, leading to confrontations involving Walter Cunningham, who represents the poor but proud farming families, and Burris Ewell, embodying the defiant white trash element living outside societal norms. These initial chapters carefully lay the groundwork, introducing the setting and characters, establishing the Finch family dynamics, and hinting at the themes of social inequality and prejudice that will dominate the narrative. Alongside this, the children's world is colored by the mystery next door. As the children's world takes shape, their focus sharpens on the Radley place and its reclusive inhabitant, Boo Radley. Initially, Boo is a monstrous figure drawn from town gossip, fueling their imaginative and often fearful Boo Radley game. However, their perception begins to shift subtly. Small, anonymous gifts start appearing in the knothole of an oak tree on the edge of the Radley property. Chewing gum, polished pennies, intricately carved soap dolls resembling Scout and Jem, a tarnished spelling medal, and a broken watch. These knothole gifts suggest Boo is not a monster, but a watchful, perhaps lonely individual attempting connection. Further hints of Boo's hidden presence and fundamentally benign nature emerge. When Jem sneaks back to retrieve his torn pants caught on the Radley fence, he finds them crudely mended and folded, waiting for him. Later, during the chaos of Miss Maudie's house fire on a freezing night, Scout finds a blanket draped around her shoulders, an act Atticus later attributes to Boo. These chapters deepen the mystery surrounding Boo, transforming him from a simple object of fear into a complex, unseen presence whose quiet acts of kindness challenge the children's and the reader's assumptions. But while the children grapple with local myths, a real-world conflict begins to brew. The central conflict ignites when Atticus agrees to defend Tom Robinson. This decision immediately exposes Scout and Jem to the town's racism. Scout nearly fights Cecil Jacobs for calling Atticus a nigger lover, prompting Atticus to explain his moral imperative. He couldn't hold his head up or tell his children what's right if he didn't take the case. He asks Scout to fight with her head, not her fists, even when faced with ugly talk. Atticus's own quiet courage is unexpectedly revealed when a rabid dog, Tim Johnson, threatens the neighborhood. To Jem and Scout's astonishment, their feeble father, who they thought couldn't do anything, is revealed by Sheriff Tate to be One-Shot Finch, the deadliest shot in the county. This incident challenges the children's definition of strength. Jem learns another lesson in courage from Mrs. DuBose, a cantankerous old neighbor who insults Atticus relentlessly. After Jem destroys her camellias in a fit of rage, his punishment is to read to her daily for a month. Only after her death does Atticus reveal Mrs. DuBose was battling a morphine addiction and used Jem's reading to help her break free before dying. Atticus calls her the bravest person he ever knew, defining real courage not as a man with a gun in his hand, but when you know you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway and you see it through no matter what. These chapters establish the moral stakes of the Tom Robinson case and redefine courage beyond physical prowess, setting the stage for escalating tensions. As summer returns, the children's world expands, but so does the town's hostility. As Jem matures, Scout finds herself spending more time with Calpurnia. A visit to Calpurnia's church, First Purchase, offers Scout and Jem a rare glimpse into the Black community's world, their resilience, solidarity, and the challenges they face, including prejudice from within their own community, represented by Lula. They also learn about the difficulties Tom Robinson's wife, Helen, faces due to the accusations against her husband. Aunt Alexandra arrives to provide a feminine influence and instill Finch family pride, creating friction with her rigid ideas about social class and Scout's behavior. Her presence underscores the societal pressures surrounding reputation and tradition in Maycomb. Dill runs away from his neglectful new stepfather and arrives unexpectedly in Maycomb, seeking refuge and belonging with the Finches. His flight highlights themes of family and the different forms parental absence can take. The simmering tension over the trial boils over when a lynch mob, a group of men, including Walter Cunningham's father, converges on the Maycomb jail, intending to harm Tom Robinson. Atticus positions himself outside, determined to protect his client. Unaware of the danger, Scout, Jem, and Dill arrive. Scout's innocent personal conversation with Mr. Cunningham about his son and his entailment unexpectedly diffuses the situation, shaming the men into dispersing. This tense confrontation starkly illustrates the dangerous undercurrents in Maycomb and the unpredictable power of innocence. With the immediate danger averted, the focus shifts to the formal battleground, the courtroom. Tom Robinson's trial begins, drawing huge crowds and transforming the courthouse square into a spectacle. Scout, Jem, and Dill find seats in the segregated balcony with Reverend Sykes, offering them a unique vantage point. The prosecution, led by Mr. Gilmer, calls Sheriff Heck Tate first. Tate testifies that he found Mayella beaten, primarily on the right side of her face and with bruises encircling her neck. Crucially, under Atticus's cross-examination, he confirms that no doctor was called to examine her. Next, Bob Ewell takes the stand. His testimony is crude and filled with racial slurs, claiming he saw Tom Robinson rutting on his daughter Mayella. Atticus's key move during cross-examination is having Ewell write his name, demonstrating to the jury that he is left-handed, implying he could have caused Mayella's right-sided injuries. Finally, Mayella Ewell testifies. She appears fragile and emotional, initially reluctant to speak, portraying herself as a victim of a brutal attack by Tom. However, Atticus's patient cross-examination reveals inconsistencies in her story and paints a picture of a lonely, isolated young woman possibly abused by her father. The questioning culminates when Atticus asks Tom Robinson to stand, revealing his crippled and useless left arm, severely damaged in a cotton gin accident years before, making it highly unlikely he could have inflicted Mayella's injuries as described. With the prosecution's key witnesses undermined, the stage is set for the defense. The defense rests its case primarily on Tom Robinson's testimony. Tom speaks respectfully and calmly, explaining that he often helped Mayella with small chores out of kindness because she seemed to have no one else. He testifies that on the day of the alleged incident, Mayella lured him inside the house, saying a door needed fixing. Once inside, she sent the other children away, grabbed him around the waist, and demanded he kiss her. Terrified, Tom tried to escape without pushing her, but just then, Bob Ewell appeared at the window, yelling obscenities. Tom fled in fear. During cross-examination, Tom makes the crucial error. In the context of Maycomb's racial hierarchy, of saying he felt right sorry for her, which Mr. Gilmer exploits to paint him as arrogant. In his closing argument, Atticus appeals directly to the jury's reason. He meticulously picks apart the prosecution's case, the lack of medical evidence, the contradictory testimonies, and the physical impossibility of Tom inflicting Mayella's specific injuries with his crippled left hand. He suggests Bob Ewell was the likely assailant. Atticus argues Mayella, caught breaking a rigid societal code by tempting a black man, accused Tom to destroy the evidence of her own actions. He concludes with a powerful plea for justice, reminding the jury that while courts have faults, they are the one place where all men are created equal, urging them to look beyond prejudice and do your duty. The arguments are made, and now Maycomb awaits the jury's decision. After hours of deliberation, the jury returns. Scout observes a chilling courtroom formality. A jury never looks at a defendant it has convicted. As the foreman reads the verdict, guilty, 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 none of the jurors look at Tom Robinson. The verdict devastates Jem. His belief in justice and the inherent goodness of Maycomb's people is shattered. "It ain't right, Atticus," he cries. Despite the verdict, the black community in the balcony shows their deep respect for Atticus's efforts by standing silently as he passes. The next morning, the Finch kitchen is overflowing with food, gifts from the black community expressing their gratitude. Atticus is moved to tears but insists they mustn't do it again, recognizing the sacrifice involved. However, the bitterness lingers. Bob Ewell confronts Atticus at the post office, spits in his face, curses him, and threatens his life. Atticus remains calm, simply wiping his face and walking away, later explaining to Jem he'd rather take Ewell's anger himself than let it fall on Mayella or her siblings. Atticus also reveals a small crack in the prejudice. One juror, a Cunningham, had initially argued for acquittal, holding out for some time. Though a legal appeal offers a glimmer of hope, the verdict's injustice and Ewell's threat cast a dark shadow. This shadow manifests in unexpected ways, revealing the town's contradictions. The theme of hypocrisy is sharply drawn during Aunt Alexandra's missionary circle tea. Scout joins the gathering, observing the ladies express great sympathy for the distant Maruna tribe in Africa while simultaneously making racist remarks about Maycomb's black residents and criticizing Atticus's defense of Tom Robinson. Mrs. Merriweather speaks of needing to forgive and forget regarding the supposed unrest among black people after the trial, yet complains bitterly about her own maid's sulkiness. Miss Maudie subtly rebukes her hypocrisy. The superficiality of the meeting is shattered when Atticus arrives unexpectedly with devastating news. Tom Robinson is dead. He was shot 17 times while trying to escape the prison yard. Atticus explains Tom had simply gave up hope, tired of white men's chances. Atticus and Calpurnia leave to inform Tom's wife, Helen. Despite their shock and grief, Aunt Alexandra and Miss Maudie quickly regain their composure, demonstrating remarkable strength as they return to hosting the tea party as if nothing is wrong. Later, Scout reflects on another instance of hypocrisy. Her teacher, Miss Gates, passionately condemns Hitler's persecution of the Jews in class, declaring, "Over here, we don't believe in persecuting anybody." Yet, Scout distinctly remembers hearing Miss Gates leaving the courthouse after the trial, making ugly, racist remarks about the black community, saying it was time somebody taught him a lesson. This contradiction deeply troubles Scout, highlighting the pervasive, often unconscious, prejudice even among supposedly educated people. The injustice seems complete, but one final act of darkness is yet to come. As Halloween approaches, Bob Ewell's resentment continues to fester. He loses his WPA job due to laziness, attempts to intimidate Judge Taylor, and harasses Helen Robinson on her way to work until Link Deese intervenes. These incidents create an atmosphere of foreboding. On Halloween night, Jem escorts Scout, who is wearing an awkward ham costume, to the school pageant. Walking home through the dark, deserted schoolyard, they sense they are being followed. Suddenly, they are attacked by Bob Ewell. In the struggle, Jem's arm is badly broken. Scout, protected by her costume, is grabbed, but then their assailant is violently pulled away. Scout hears coughing and someone staggering, carrying Jem towards their house. Inside, they discover Jem unconscious and Bob Ewell dead under the tree where the attack occurred, killed with a kitchen knife. Sheriff Heck Tate arrives, and initially, Atticus believes Jem must have killed Ewell in self-defense. However, Tate pieces together the truth. The mysterious figure who carried Jem home was Boo Radley, and it was Boo who killed Ewell to protect the children. To shield the intensely private and vulnerable Boo from the legal process and public attention that would surely follow, Tate insists Ewell fell on his own knife. He argues that exposing Boo would be like shooting a mockingbird. Scout, finally meeting Boo face to face, intuitively understands. After Boo briefly visits Jem's bedside, Scout gently takes his arm and walks him home. Standing on the Radley porch, she looks out at her neighborhood and finally sees the world through Boo's eyes, reflecting on the events of the past few years from his perspective. She understands Atticus's lesson about empathy. You never really know a man until you stand in his shoes and walk around in them. This quiet act of understanding marks the end of Scout's childhood journey. To Kill a Mockingbird masterfully traces Scout Finch's journey from wide-eyed innocence to a more complex understanding of human nature and society. Through the lens of the Tom Robinson trial and the mystery surrounding Boo Radley, Harper Lee explores the destructive power of prejudice, the importance of moral courage, and the necessity of empathy. The mockingbird symbol resonates throughout the narrative, representing innocence destroyed by evil. Characters like Tom Robinson and Boo Radley, who cause no harm but are targeted by societal malice. Atticus's instruction that it's a sin to kill a mockingbird becomes the central moral tenet. The trial reveals the deep-seated racism of Maycomb, leading to Jem's disillusionment, but also highlighting Atticus's unwavering integrity in the face of overwhelming opposition. His courage lies not in physical strength, but in his commitment to justice and his willingness to defend the vulnerable, even at personal cost. The climax resolves the immediate threat posed by Bob Ewell, but, more significantly, brings Boo Radley into the light, not as a monster, but as a quiet protector. Scout's final act of walking Boo home and seeing the world from his porch signifies her profound growth in empathy and understanding. She learns that true understanding requires stepping outside oneself and acknowledging the perspective of others, even though society marginalizes or fears. Ultimately, The novel leaves us with a powerful message about confronting injustice, cultivating empathy, and recognizing the quiet courage required to uphold one's conscience in a flawed world. Harper Lee's masterpiece continues to resonate because it challenges us to examine our own perspectives and prejudices. What does walking in someone else's shoes mean to you in today's world? Who are the mockingbirds in our society that need protecting? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this analysis helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to Read Wiser for more insights into transformative books. Thanks for watching.